All right, Ms. Bhardwaj, if you could walk us through the experience Sakha had from its start to the establishment right now.
Okay, Sakha services started in 2009 and we started with a very small, humble fleet. We trained some initial drivers. Of course, it was not an easy task to start with the services in the driving area. But of course, there were various challenges to begin with, but we started with about 3 cars in Delhi. And today we've scaled up considerably from where we started from. And today we, of course, after a number of years, have a certain fleet size. We have about 100 women who are driving on the Delhi roads right now as private chauffeurs or as commercial cab drivers.
All right. How was the journey? What was the 3 big challenges you faced?
So the biggest challenge that we faced even today is getting women drivers. In terms of getting women drivers, it's not something. It's not like the male drivers who actually automatically go and procure licenses. For women, we have to mobilize them from the communities, from the urban poor communities and the marginalized communities, convince them and tell them about this livelihood option, and we explain to them how it will change the lives. And of course, it's not only about women that we have to channelize. We have to channelize the community, the family, and counsel them that how it makes a difference to their lives. And today, fortunately for us, in the Delhi area, especially where we've been operational for the maximum period, people know the difference, because today all the Sakha drivers who stay in these urban poor slums actually have either pakka houses or have cars, or when they walk in the uniform, the sense of pride. So they've become an auto brand ambassadors. But in the initial phase, it was a very difficult task to first convince the community and the family. I mean, because the girls are not, at that time, were not the primary decision makers. But of course, the story has changed, and the women who work with us, and most of them have been with us from the beginning, are the primary decision makers or the breadwinners in their respective families. So the journey has been very difficult. Of course, pitfalls. The biggest challenge is the dropout ratio, because women traditionally are known to do domestic work. But traditionally, they're not to think about driving. It's looked as a male area. It's looked upon as an area where safety could be a concern for those women. So, of course, it has taken us a certain route of counseling, teaching them life skills about their own about their own needs or about their own rights. Rights about as being a woman, as a citizen of this country, right of even, I mean, basic rights also these women were not aware of. But today you have to see the before and after journey to assess it yourself.
How was the budgets for women empowerment, and what are you expecting from the government in terms of laws and regulations?
The budget?
Yes, pertaining to your sector.
I mean, but while the government has become more conscious about the women road safety, largely because of the recent incidents, whether it was Nirbhaya or Uber, but they are yet to make considerable movement in this area. The good thing is that people are talking about it today. In 2009, when we started it, it was an alien concept in the country. So today, the proof of concept stands being talked about, and we are, I mean, everybody is wanting to talk to us about the experience that we've had in this journey to be able to help them scale up in these kind of operations. In Delhi, we continue to be the only services for women by women. But government is yet to make a lot of changes in the way they think, and also the infrastructure that is needed. For example, to bring safety on the road for women is to have more women on the road, which means women should be driving auto rickshaws, which means women should be driving even a bus. So the government recently announced a program where they wanted to induct women drivers for DTC, and the first woman driver is from Sakha within the DTC corporation. So these are some of the things that, of course, government has to take stock. The biggest thing that the government also has to do is to make the license process of commercial vehicles easier for women.
All right. Well, Sakha Cabs being the pioneer in women transportation as far as cab is concerned, are you also running some type of incubation centers for women who are completely new to the sector?
We don't have an incubation sector as of now, because we are at this point trying to sustain ourselves, because it's a small, humble fleet. But we would definitely like to get into this space in future.
Right. And the last question here, how do you think women entrepreneurs can act as an enabler to whatever is happening right now in the economy, be it Digital India or the Make in India campaign?
See, women entrepreneurs have always been traditionally been around. It's just that they need to come into the forefront and talk about what they have done. even in slums or in middle class income groups or even in higher income groups, there would be women entrepreneurs, small or big. It's just that they're not known. And I guess time has come for them to come and become role models for other women to follow.
Okay. An extended question here. How is Sakha unique in terms of the existing competition you have with other cab associations or the cab companies, and also the carpooling coming into India? So what is your future projects? What are you planning?
I would say that what sets us apart is for women by women. What we have is empowered women, and the number of drivers that we have, or the way we train them, or the kind of skills that we impart to them, it is very unlikely or will be very difficult for the other service providers to do. Currently, we may be a small fraction of the number of drivers that the large cab organizations have, be in radio taxi or any other. But we don't see it as a large competition because we are a niche services at this point. And we have a certain credibility behind us, and the others are yet to work in that domain. What we are happy about is that the other players are warming up to this concept, and hence would be increasing or wanting to bring women drivers. So like I said, the more the merrier. We are not really, if we will be happy to be a resource agency for them, if anything, because that is fulfillment of our vision in many ways.
So you have the Azad Foundation as well.
Right, Azad Foundation is training for the drivers.